with Lakuchi River Electric Cooperative. Member-owned, community-focused.
Welcome back to the Turkey Man Show. My name is Kevin Vaughn, and I'm a longtime WREC lineman. Today we have a very special guest, Commander Richard Hunt, from the Aaron A. Weaver Chapter 776 Military Order of the Purple Heart. This organization honors and supports those who have sacrificed so much for our country. Commander Hunt, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for your service.
It is absolutely my pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, and we're honored to have you. And I'm just going to jump right into it. Can you share a little bit about your background and what led you to join the military?
Certainly. Long time ago, far away, when I was 17 years old and I knew everything.
Right.
You could have asked me at the time, I'd have told you that. My father and I didn't get along at that time, and one fine day, I decided the thing to do was to go in the military. So I went to see my recruiter, took a test, and filled out some paperwork. And they said, you have to have both your parents' permissions. And I took it home, and I said, Mom, I'd like to talk to you. She said, okay. And I said, I'd like to go in the military. She said, go to your bedroom. When your dad gets home, we'll talk to him. So when Dad got home, he said, I understand you want to talk to me. And I said, yes, sir, I want to go in the military. Now, he had spent a long time in the Navy.
Okay.
And he said, well, if it's not the Marine Corps, we're not even going to have this conversation. I gave him the paperwork and said, Dad, please sign here. He'd go to your room and we'll talk in a little. So anyway, I did. And my dad and my mom talked this through. This was in 1967.
Right.
Vietnam was getting pretty hot.
Yes, sir.
And they did talk. Their real problem was based on the fact that I was hard-headed and went in the Marine Corps. There was a real good chance that I wouldn't be coming home. And They talked about the possible guilt with that and realized that as soon as I turned 18, if they did not sign, I was going to go anyway.
Yes, sir.
So they said, okay, we're going to do this. They did, and I enlisted in the Marine Corps voluntarily at 17 and went from there. My granddad was in the Navy. He was at Pearl Harbor when the attack happened and spent a good portion of World War II working on ships and making them seaworthy again.
Right.
And just doing what he could do. He is still my hero.
Absolutely.
He was quite a man. He was a Master Chief in the Navy and worked with Admiral Zumwalt and others. And I just admired the man. And
Same for my grandfather. He's 103 now. Was in World War II under Patton's Third Army. In the 1303rd Engineers, the Eager Beavers. So they built bridges for Patton's armies to cross over, you know.
I love it.
The Rhine and the Danube.
Yes, sir.
His outfit built two of the largest bridges in World War II.
Fantastic.
But was at Omaha, went in, not first wave, but he said it was awful busy that day.
No, well, it can get that way.
Yes, sir. So we love to honor our grandfathers who are definitely our heroes, for sure. So what was your role during your service in Vietnam, and what stands out most from that time?
I ended up volunteering, basically, for the infantry.
Okay.
Now, at 17, which I was when I completed all my Marine training,
right,
there's a presidential order in effect that still stands. They don't allow anybody under the age of 18 to go into combat.
Okay.
So my first duty station was Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. It was tough duty, but somebody has to do it. Okay. So when I checked into Kaneohe Bay, into an infantry unit as a rifleman, I packed all my stuff into my foot locker and my wall locker, and the next morning they said, you need to report to Lieutenant so-and-so at S2. And I said, what? I've been good. If I haven't, nobody knows it yet. I just got here.
Right.
So I went to see this lieutenant, and he had my little bitty record book in front of him, and he said, based on information here, we've decided you're going to be a scout. So I became an infantry scout at the ripe age of 17 as a slick-sleeve private, and went through a tremendous amount of training while I was in Hawaii.
Okay.
Our unit got loaded out during the time where the Pueblo had been captured. This was a U.S. spy ship that was seized by the Korean government in international waters, commanded by Lieutenant Commander Lloyd Butcher. The Koreans still have this ship.
North Korea, I guess you're saying.
North Korea.
Yes, sir.
There were 3 U.S. sailors killed when this ship was captured. The rest of the crew ended up being repatriated. But anyway, we went on a training cruise around that time. 3 days out of Hawaii, we got a flash radio message saying, hey, gang, you're going to Da Nang. And at flank speed, we went to Vietnam. This was Tet Offensive, 1968, which was one of the heaviest combat periods during the war, emergency reinforcements. I ended up being an infantry scout.
Wow.
And worked with the 1st Battalion, 27th Marines. Yes, sir. And on to the races we went.
Yes,
it was a very, very busy time.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you made it back home and serve your country in that capacity.
Now, you did ask me what stands out most about that time.
Yes, sir.
What it was the camaraderie and learning about other people and the fact that we became so very, very close.
Right.
And that was kind of like a good news, bad news thing. We took a tremendous amount of casualties.
Sure.
So folks that we would become very close with might not be there in a short period of time. But at the same time, the folks that I served very close with, the relationship was more personal than even my brothers or my sisters or my mom or my dad.
Sure.
And in a different way, even closer than it is with my wife. And I have a wonderful marriage. I am.
Right.
This lady is unbelievably special, but there's a communication that develops. Sometimes you can look at somebody and communicate without words.
Sure.
And we just got to the point where supporting each other.
That bond, yes, sir.
Trusting each other.
Right.
It's a feeling that's very hard to explain.
Well, I don't think the protected will never understand that. You know what I'm saying? Those that haven't served don't quite understand that aspect of it. You know.
I would agree with that statement.
Yeah. Well, for those that who may not be familiar, what does receiving the Purple Heart signify, and what does it mean to you personally?
The Purple Heart is an award that's given to those wounded by instrument of the enemy.
Right.
It's not an award that anybody goes out for. This is not something that you wake up in the morning and say, dang, it would be awfully nice to get shot today.
Right.
So
you don't want to be wounded.
It's something that happened.
Right.
And it's a personal thing that's very difficult to explain, but very special to me.
Right.
The medal itself is the oldest award in use actively in the military.
Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah.
It was originally designed as something called the Badge of Military Merit by General George Washington.
Oh, wow.
This was done for enlisted troops only. And on the back of the medal, it says, for military merit.
I got you.
Which is George's criteria. And it was done for a number of things. As it stands, only 3 were known to have been awarded. They were all sergeants, all in Massachusetts. The entries were supposed to go into a logbook. So General Douglas MacArthur in 1932 or 33 was researching General Washington's papers, and he came across this. And it said that there was a logbook that was used for this. Well, the logbook's never been found.
Huh.
But they have determined that there were 3 recipients of the Badge of Military Merit. It was a piece of purple cloth with a white edge that was sewn onto the breast of the uniform. This gave enlisted troops basically the privileges of an officer.
Oh.
It was an extraordinarily special thing. So General MacArthur looked at this and said, we need to resurrect this and make it our own, so that the design of the Purple Heart Medal is purple. It has George Washington's face on it.
Okay.
And it started out as an award that quickly became for wounded veterans. There's been way over 1 million of those passed out.
Yes, sir. Wow.
It first went into action in 1932, was made retroactive for World War I.
Wow.
And then it's continued forward today. It's a very special medal. Again, we don't wake up in the morning and say, this is something I'd love to have.
Sure, right.
Some of us try to make a little fun of it and say it's our forgot to duck medal.
I understand. Well, my grandfather had received that medal, and their half track had run over a landmine, and those that survived were wounded, of course, and it blew his left eardrum out, and was wounded in other areas, but so it's not something you, like you say, that you want to receive, but it's definitely I believe it's something that's necessary to honor the men that have put themselves in those positions. Like you said, you volunteered, and that's a special honor. So,
interestingly enough, in the military we wear ribbons that represent the full medals that are awarded. A military person can look at some other military person that's wearing these and instantly know what it is they've done, the kind of person they're talking with.
Sure.
It's kind of like being a firefighter or a police officer. There's something that shows up instantly in the uniform.
Yes, sir.
That explains experience, and it's, to me, comforting to be with folks that have been in places where they've done battle.
Right.
And they're here, we're talking, and again, it's a camaraderie that's...
Yes, it's a brotherhood.
It is.
Yes. What is the Military Order of the Purple Heart, and what is its mission in supporting veterans?
The Military Order of the Purple Heart is an organization made up of combat wounded veterans and their immediate descendants. We do have associate members. Our mission is to continue the legacy of the Purple Heart Medal and to support our family members and each other. It is a very unique organization. To be a member, you have to be wounded.
Right.
Nobody sets out to get that. But when it happens, it's there. And it's kind of like getting together, I would assume, with a group of linemen.
Okay.
That can be a very dangerous job.
Yes, sir.
I look at what y'all do, and I'm amazed there as well. the hurricanes come and the
Yes, sir.
linemen are out.
Yes, sir.
So when wounded combat veterans get together, there is immediate trust, an immediate bond. You don't have to explain.
Right,
It's
right.
just there.
It's just there, right.
Other than my combat unit, we do have reunions every couple of years, those of us that are left. The most comfortable place I am is with the combat wounded veterans that are a member of my chapter
Right.
or the organization.
Absolutely.
It's a nationwide thing. We're one of the smallest groups, and I hope to stay that way.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
We
Right.
don't want wounded people to
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it's a wonderful thing. It's a place where folks automatically just relax.
Right. So, as commander, what are your responsibilities in the organization?
I suppose, in a way, I'm kind of like Mother Hen.
Okay.
I look out after my guys and my gals
Right.
and the families. It's wear different hats.
Okay.
There are times when folks are down, we talk.
Sure.
There's unfortunately, as we get older, there's a lot of physical issues.
Physical
health issues.
support, moral support,
Exactly.
organizing your events and things. And yes, sir.
When one of our members passes, we're
Sure.
there for the families.
Sure.
It's a close knit group. It's very similar to the active duty troops, the units that I was with.
Right.
But perhaps even a little bit tighter sometimes. We've got a guy that was flying along in an airplane over North Vietnam, and he looked over to the side. There's a hole in the wing, and it's on fire. And the wing is where the gas tanks are.
Sure.
His airplane's on fire over North Vietnam, and he said, this isn't good. So he managed to
Right.
get his airplane offshore, and he bailed out in front of a U.S. warship and got picked up so that he didn't end up being a prisoner of war.
Prisoner of war, right.
He has issues,
Sure.
which perfectly understandable. He also got hurt pretty badly when he ejected.
Right.
We've got a guy that we just honored at our Pearl Harbor dinner that has 3 Purple Hearts. He was wounded in 3 different wars. He has 2 Silver Stars for valor.
Right.
This is a little short guy that is crazy. He did some things, and we read citations for him there, and he doesn't ever talk about this stuff.
Right. I've noticed that with a lot of veterans, if they've really been through some things, they don't always talk about it.
My job really is to arrange for our guys and our girls and our family members
Okay.
to be as peaceful as they can be,
Right.
to feel as comfortable as they can be, knowing that there is support without reservation.
That's what I'm understanding is you said that you feel most comfortable around those other men and women, and so that's what the organization does, is help facilitate those needs, and that's amazing. So who is eligible? I think you alluded to it a little bit earlier. Those that are wounded and their immediate family members, that's who's eligible to join the organization?
Correct. And you and I were talking before we did this broadcast.
Yes, sir.
And you have explained that your grandfather has the Purple Heart Medal.
Yes, sir.
And I explained to you that we could arrange for you to be a part of the organization, and that's probably going to happen.
That's awesome.
So
I appreciate it.
All we need to do is get a copy of your grandfather's paperwork, his discharge showing that he has the Purple Heart Medal,
Right.
and then paperwork tying you to him
Okay.
as a descendant.
Well, we'll
And
see what we
then
can do.
I'm sure we will. We'll make that happen. So it's fairly simple.
Okay. Awesome.
Now, one of the things we do not do is tell a lot of war stories.
Right.
You don't have to explain yourself.
Right.
And that's one of the things that makes these guys comfortable, and they're happy with it.
Okay.
It's understood that there are things that have happened, and we introduce ourselves.
Right.
In my case, I'm Sergeant Richard Hunt, 1st Battalion, 27th Marines, wounded in Vietnam, 1968. That's all I have to say.
I got you. Right. And you're just there. You just feel that comfort around others that you know. It's just an unspoken, I guess.
It is.
Yeah.
As a lineman, when you walk into a place and you've got experienced linemen, there's a conversation that happens without ever having a word.
Well, you know, because you experienced the same things, been through the same training, the same experiences, and you just know you're in the same company.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome. So does the phrase "welcome home" carry a lot of meaning for you as a veteran, other veterans? Does that?
Oh yes. When we did what we did back in Vietnam,
Yes.
there was a divide in this country, and folks just didn't understand.
Right.
There's two separate things. There's government that causes for things to happen, and will give orders, that sort of thing. Then there's military that go in and end up receiving orders. We don't necessarily have to agree
Right.
at any given point as to what those are, but there's a commitment. So if you don't agree with your politicians or your government, speak up, especially at the ballot box. But those that are serving, you put your hand in the air and swear an oath to support and defend, and that's what those folks do.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's popular, sometimes it's not.
Right.
But there's a price that's paid by veterans that's amazing, and they do deserve our support.
Absolutely. My mom's brother, my uncle, was in Vietnam. He served in Vietnam, and that was one thing that the welcome home was always, other than family, the welcome home was hard, because a lot of the veterans weren't accepted for what they had to go through, and
I can give you a little story if you're interested.
Okay.
While I was in Vietnam, at 18 years old, I did not believe that I would see 19.
Right.
I received a Dear John letter from the girl that I thought that I was going to get married to.
Yes, sir.
That was tough.
Sure.
But we had a guy that did calligraphy.
Yes, sir.
And he decided that there would be a way we deal with some of these things. I said, "Hey, Hunt, I see you got a letter." And he said, "Yeah. What's her name?" And I told him. So he pulled out a piece of parchment and his pens, and he started writing a little letter. And it was a Dear John of the Month award to this particular person. The men of the 1st Battalion, 27th Marines have selected your letter as the most tear-jerking, unfair, blah, blah, blah.
I got you.
All the guys signed it, and it got mailed to her. And I actually got one more letter from her saying how unfair that was. And I laughed. The truth is every Dear John that came in, he would do a letter like that, and it got mailed. So when I came back, her mom got in touch with me, and she had been in touch, and she was telling me about a lady that she worked with that was a beauty pageant winner, and said the lady would like to go out, and I said, well, okay, and we actually did go out.
Right.
And I thought things were moving along pretty well, so I got in touch with her. and said, I'd like to take you to this restaurant. There was a very special place. Coat and tie was required. They would accept dress blues. I'm a Marine.
Right.
So I told her, I said, I'll be wearing my dress blues because at that time I did not wear a suit. And she said, I'd prefer not. I beg your pardon? She said, I'd rather not you wear a uniform in public. Okay. That was the end of that relationship.
Absolutely.
So sometime later, there actually was someone I didn't know that walked up to me and said, welcome home.
Right.
It was like I got hit with a sledgehammer. It was so very special.
Right. Absolutely. So how can business and individuals get involved? And what would it take for our co-op to become a Purple Heart business?
First of all, you have to support our country. You have to support our veterans.
Absolutely.
You have to have a good heart. There has to be the intent. So as a supporter of combat wounded veterans, which y'all are,
right,
we end up doing 2 proclamations. Okay. Y'all will have one, and then we'll have one.
Yes, sir.
And we'll get together at some point in time, and we'll present you with a Purple Heart flag that we're going to ask that you fly on certain occasions. George Washington's birthday is the father of the Purple Heart.
Yes, sir.
Veterans Day, Memorial Day.
Absolutely.
The 4th of July.
Sure.
And any other occasion that you think is special. And it just happens. What this is a commitment to each other. And we continue patriotism.
Absolutely.
And the spirit of the United States, which even with diversity is the best place in the world to be.
Yeah, so very important to support our nation, our troops, and all those that have served. That's amazing. We definitely want to get those that are listening involved in our community and help support this organization for sure. So is there any advice you can give to a younger generation, whether military, civic, or is there any advice you would like to give to our listeners out there?
Well, there's a phrase that was used by Marine Corps recruiters a long, long time ago. Said, we never promised you a rose garden.
That's true.
There's the military is not an easy way to go. Right. It's certainly not for everybody.
Yes, sir.
It will teach you character. It will remove certain words from your vocabulary, like can't, quit, and won't.
Right.
In my case specifically, and the majority of those that I know, it teaches you appreciation for things that we take for granted.
Sure.
Folks just don't realize how blessed we are, right, and the things that we have. The invitation to come here and talk with y'all today, to meet you, to sit here and have this podcast where we can pretty much say whatever it is we want to say.
Yes, sir. And
not worry about having somebody bang on the door tonight and haul you out. That does happen in places.
It does. It's even happening north of us now a little bit.
I'm aware.
Yeah, with the freedom of speech, being, in trouble in that country, that country.
Yep.
But so I think one of the phrases that's stood out to me is freedom is not free.
That's absolutely true.
And that's what you're talking about.
So. It is. It feels better when you are involved in earning something.
Sure.
A good day's hard work.
That's right.
Is a wonderful thing. Giving commitment and doing things on behalf of others
Sure.
is amazing. Service to country and others is amazing. I'm very, very proud of what I've been involved in.
Absolutely.
Has all of it been great? No.
Right.
That's not the way life works.
Yes, sir.
Would I change it? No.
Right.
Would I do it again? Yes.
Well, sacrifice has to be made. You know, that's part of the military and service to our nation. You know, there are sacrifices, and that's what we're talking about. It's our freedom is not free. There's a price that's been paid, a heavy price, and we honor our veterans and those that have fought and served to keep our nation free and the freedoms that we, like you said, are able to sit down at a podcast and talk about these kind of things. It's an amazing country that we live in. So when you reflect on your journey, what keeps you motivated to continue serving fellow veterans?
I believe that we are much better people giving.
Yes, sir.
In the process of giving, we receive way more than any other way that could ever happen. Yeah. And that's without looking for receiving anything. Be able to help folks,
right,
to be able to continue with what we do and how it ends up making huge differences in individual lives.
So it's a heart thing.
It is. It is. And, you know, yeah. I suspect somewhere in this studio somebody's starting to peel onions. That, you know, it must be, because that happens with the eyes sometimes. Right. And when I think about what it is you're asking about, it's like somebody's peeling a few onions here.
Right.
And that, to me, is a good thing.
Yes, sir. So where can people go to learn more about the Military Order of the Purple Heart or get involved? Do you have a way they can contact you, your organization?
We have a website.
Okay.
And the name of our organization is Aaron A. Weaver, Chapter 776, Military Order of the Purple Heart.
Okay.
It's named after a soldier that gave way more than we could ever believe, and then in the process gave his life.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to continue his legacy and memory as long as there's breath in my body.
Yes, sir.
But we can be found on Facebook.
Okay.
A Google search will get you to us. We have an event on February the 21st in Citrus County.
Okay.
At the Citrus County Auditorium, starting at 10 a.m.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be, and I can't remember how many years we've done it, our Purple Heart ceremony.
Yes, sir.
There's going to be 500 people plus there.
Okay. Now, you can come out of county, doesn't matter, right? Anybody can?
Everybody's welcome, okay. The young, the old, it's free.
Okay.
It's going to last a little bit over an hour.
Yes, sir.
There's going to be some laughs. I promise there'll be some tears.
Sure.
This is a very unique ceremony.
Yes, sir.
And in addition to the fact that Purple Heart does this, our county, the school district there, has agreed to continue this program once there are no Purple Heart recipients left to do it, to continue the legacy.
Mm.
That's kind of the way things are. We are going to keep on keeping on.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of a home, and there are folks that come out of the woodwork that don't ever talk about anything, and this is a place that's very cathartic for them.
I got you.
They enjoy it. We'd love to have you.
Well, we'll have to get that set up, and well, we just wanted the public to know and the events that you have and how they can get in touch with you. So
we will also assist veterans any way we can.
Okay.
One of the things that we do is with durable medical equipment
Sure.
for veterans and their family members. I've got wheelchairs and a lot of different things, power chairs. We actually give these away to a veteran
Okay.
that needs to have them.
Well, there may be somebody listening today that's in need. They can contact your organization, and you're able to help with that. So that's amazing.
And we'd be happy to do that.
Awesome. Well, Commander Hunt, thank you for sharing your time and insights with us today. Thank you for your service. To our listeners, remember, supporting veterans, it's more than a gesture, it's a responsibility. And check out the Military Order of the Purple Heart online and see how you can make a difference. Thank you for being here today, Commander Hunt.
It's my pleasure and my honor.
It's an honor to meet you. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. And thank you all the members for listening to the Turkey Man Show.
With Lakuchi River Electric Cooperative, member-owned, community-focused.